welcome to another edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent, back with another episode of Picks. And as you notice, I'm doing it a little differently with my setup. I didn't feel like setting up green screen and all that stuff. So we're just going to do it regular schmegular. Week 12 of NFL Picks. And for those who are wondering, when is another Coffee and Beats episode gonna drop? Well, I got a flood of them coming. I just gotta do a lot of editing. So I do have some albums I want to get out there. Also, if you have not signed up to the Patreon, please hit that link down below. Also, follow me on Buy Me a Coffee. I drop a lot of written reviews on that page, so you can still get some music recommendations on that page, because sometimes to get the information out there quick enough, then setting up a video and doing a bunch of editing, sometimes I'll just do a written review on albums when I don't have the time to record. So check that out. All of those links are down low, so be on the lookout for another Coffee and Beats episode coming soon. Also, I have a new mixtape dropping this Friday as of this recording. The new release will be coming out, and it's called Latte Love Volume 1. Look forward to getting that out there to you guys as well. So stay tuned for that. But enough of me rambling. Let's get to these picks. And we're going to start off with our first matchup. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers going up on the road against the Cleveland Browns. And the Cleveland Browns coming off a blowout loss to the Saints last week. They come back home to play against a red-hot Pittsburgh team coming off an emotional victory over the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm gonna go with the Steelers here. I think the Steelers are red hot right now. They are only a 3.5 point favorite, however. I think I think the odds makers are giving Cleveland too much of a chance here. I know Cleveland plays better at home than they do on the road, but they haven't been playing well enough to win games. And so I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Oh, and by the way, last week my record was 10-4 with week 11 of picks. But yeah, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. Easy peasy. Let's move on to the Sunday games. We got the Minnesota Vikings on the road against, unfortunately, my Chicago Bears. And I just want to sit out here. I've seen enough videos. I've seen enough reactions. I don't have anything different to say as a Bears fan that other Bears fans haven't already said on other platforms. I've said this in previous episodes. Things aren't going to change unless the McCaskies sell the team. Eberflus is no longer the head coach. I'm not bothered by Ryan Poles as much as a lot of people are. I still think Ryan Poles flunked very miserably in the offensive lineman department. And I think next year he needs to just go ahead and just do an all-out audition for offensive lineman. I better not see that man draft anything other than an offensive lineman next year. I don't care. We got wide receivers. We got a defense. We got a running back. We got a quarterback. Let's just do an all-out competition. Pick up 10 offensive linemen next year and just put them all to the test. Put them all in one room, like in the Joker broke the stick and gave to the two dudes to fight over who's going to be on his team. Like, I need a competition like that. Okay, because if you don't do anything about his offensive line situation, you're going to ruin a good quarterback. And Caleb showed that last week in the fourth quarter. He raised my eyebrows a little bit, but when they was getting ready to line up for a field goal, I did not get excited. I just sat and I just took my butt whooping like a man, and that's what happened. I knew the inevitable was going to happen. The Bears were either going to miss the field goal or get it blocked, and that's what happened. So I don't need to get into all the other details, but I will say this. The Minnesota Vikings are red hot, and they have been winning some close games to some teams they shouldn't be having close games against. I will say that about Minnesota. I think this is a winnable game for Chicago. But again, Chicago's going to actually snatch the feet out of the jaws of victory. So I got the Minnesota Vikings in this when they are a 3-point favorite. Actually, a 3.5 point favorite. Up next, we got the Detroit Lions up against the Indianapolis Colts, and they are a 7-point favorite. The Detroit Lions are red hot right now, but I got to say, I'm proud of Anthony Richardson. He put on a great performance last week. Yeah, it wasn't It wasn't pretty by any means necessary, but he made the important plays that count. And so I'm gonna have to go and pick Detroit despite that. I just don't think he has enough firepower to keep up with Detroit's ammunition. I mean, they are just loaded at every position, and I just think the Detroit Lions are just going to have an easy time from this point moving forward into the playoffs. And so I got the Detroit Lions in that one. Up next, we got the Miami Dolphins at home against the New England Patriots. Patriots are playing better of late. They couldn't pull off a win last week against the Rams. I think the same thing happens here. Miami is a 7.5 point favorite, and I told you, Miami's one of those sneaky teams, man. I'm telling you, they can sneak and be a threat for that last wild card spot. They're one of those teams that are slowly starting to get it together now that they're healthy. They just had the misfortune of not having Tua earlier in the season. And so they're better than what their records show. And I think they're going to pull off the victory. Up next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the Giants. This one's easy. The Giants are benching Daniel Jones. He's been trash for since forever. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to win this one easily in New York. They are a 5.5 point favorite, and my message to Baker Mayfield is please throw at least 4 touchdowns for me and maybe about over 350 yards. Okay, I need that for fantasy purposes. Up next, we got the Dallas Cowboys on the road against the Washington Commanders. This one's easy. I got the Washington Commanders in this one, even though the Washington have not been playing that well since the Hail Mary. And people are talking about how the Bears have kind of fell off since the Hail Mary. Well, it's almost affecting Washington in a way as well. They have not been playing good football since that Hail Mary game. So, but I just don't see Dallas winning this game at all. I think this will be a good get-right game for the Commanders to get their mojo back, and I think they go on and win. They're a 10.5 point favorite. Up next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, coming off a intense loss to the Buffalo Bills the previous week. They go on the road against the Panthers. They are 11-point favorite. I got the Kansas City Chiefs in that one. Not much to talk about there. The Houston Texans actually at home against the Tennessee Titans. I have the Houston Texans easily in that one. They are an 8.5 point favorite. And shout out to Joe Mixon for that amazing comeback victory that you put for me in fantasy. I was down by a large margin. You came through for a brother, man. So I appreciate that. Joe Mixon, if you're watching, man, keep on bringing the points, man. Keep on bringing the points. I truly appreciate that. Now we're off to the 3 o'clock games. We got the Denver Broncos on the road against the Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, man, Bo Nix looking good, man. Bo Nix is looking good. He is entering the conversation for Rookie of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to keep that streak going. He's got a Las Vegas Raiders team that he can beat up on, and I think it's going to happen. They are a 5.5 point favorite. I think Denver pulls it off. Up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers on the road against the Green Bay Packers. Packers coming off a nail-biting victory over the Chicago Bears. And even though the San Francisco 49ers have owned the Green Bay Packers over the last few years, I think that reign will now come to an end. The Niners, I don't know, man. They just haven't been looking good this year. They should have beaten the Seahawks last week, and now they have to go on the road against the Green Bay Packers team that is charged off that close escape from Chicago. And I just think Green Bay is the better team overall. I think Green Bay pulls off the victory at home and finally wins their first game against the 49ers in quite some time. They are a 2.5 point favorite. And we have the big showdown here. The Arizona Cardinals, the red hot Arizona Cardinals, going on the road against the Seattle Seahawks fresh off a bye. Now, I will say this. The Seahawks impressed me with that victory on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. But again, Seattle is one of those Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde teams that you just don't trust. You think they got you. You think that they'll win one week and you're like, oh man, Seattle looks like they're headed the right direction. Geno Smith is playing great football. And then the next thing you know, they'll lay an egg, right? This is a perfect example of how that could happen here in this matchup. You got the Arizona Cardinals. They are scoring points up the wazoo. Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the Rookie of the Year conversation as well. Part of me wants to go with the Arizona Cardinals, but they are a 1.5 point favorite, right? I just don't think that Seattle's going to lose 2 in a row here. I got the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going with the Seahawks. I'm going with the home team. Usually when it's a pick'em game like this, I always go with the home team. I got the Seattle Seahawks in this one to make things interesting in the AFC West. Up next, we got the Sunday night game, the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Los Angeles Rams. And the Rams are playing some decent football here, good football there, terrible football in other spots, and you just don't, another one of those Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde teams. And you got the Philadelphia Eagles riding high off a dominating performance against the Washington Commanders last week. I think they continued that streak. I think Philadelphia is the biggest threat to beating or stopping the Lions in the NFC, and I think they keep it going. I think they get their mojo back here. I think Philadelphia goes on and wins this matchup. They are a 3.5 point favorite. And then last but not least, we got the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. This one is going to be a showdown. You got the Baltimore Ravens coming off a pretty disappointing loss to the Steelers. Had a couple of things that didn't really go their way in that game. They came back to bite them in the butt. And now you have Los Angeles with the Chargers. The Chargers are clicking on all cylinders. Jim Harbaugh, again, I'm going to say it again, the coach that I wanted to coach the Bears, has this team headed the right direction. He is the true quarterback whisperer. He is. Now, listen, Herbert started off hot against Cincinnati. He kind of cooled off towards the end. I was a little disappointed in his second half performance, but he was able to make the right plays at the right time to win that game against Cincinnati. And now he's at home going up against Lamar Jackson, who everybody's saying he should be the MVP. I'm not on that bandwagon, man. I'm not on that bandwagon. Honestly, I think in a losing effort, Joe Burrow is having a better season than Lamar Jackson. And Saquon Barkley, in my opinion, has entered that conversation of MVP, of league MVP. And who says a running back can't win MVP? I'm tired of watching quarterbacks win MVP all the time. I would love to see a running back win MVP after all that running backs have went through over the years of being undervalued and underappreciated. Saquon Barkley is showing that the running back position still matters, and I think he, to me, is in the lead for MVP. But that's just my opinion. Don't go attacking me in the comment section, Baltimore fans, and especially don't go attacking me in the comment section, because I'm going with the home team again. This is a pick'em team. This is a pick'em game. You got the Baltimore Ravens as a 3-point favorite. I think Los Angeles pulls off the upset and gains some momentum trying to catch the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC West. And those are my picks, and I'm sticking to them. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to sports, when it comes to coffee, stay grounded for life. Thanks for watching this episode, and thanks for all of your support. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.